Hello students, myself Preeti Chaudhary. Welcome to the video. Students, today in this video I'll be explaining you the planning process. Now the planning process in total has 7 steps. Let us come to the first step, that is setting objectives. What are objectives? Objectives are the end results. Why do we set objectives? We set objectives because if the end results are clear, so it is very easy to achieve the goals. For example, if an organization has set the objective to increase 20% of sales, so basically all the departments, all the units or the employees are clear and they will work for the increase of this sale, and their goal will be to increase the sale basically. So objectives must be clearly stated for all departments, units and employees. Now once the objectives are set, the second step is developing premises. What are premises? Premises are assumptions. Developing premises means making assumptions regarding future. Why do we assume for the future? Because we know that future is uncertain and any sort of uncertainty may happen and our objectives may fail. So what we do in the second step is that we gather all the information regarding how and what type of uncertainties may occur in future. Just for an example, like we have set the objective that 20% of the sales should be increased. So the organization gathers all the information and assumes that in future it may happen that because of some of the market forces, because of the competitors or because of some sort of policies, change in the policies, the sales may not be increased. So what the organization does is the organization gathers all the information and assumes for the future, makes assumptions for the future so that the uncertainties somehow can be reduced. So we have assumed for the future and gathered the information. Then the third step is identifying alternative course of action. Identifying alternative courses here means listing down the various courses of action, or you can say the listing down the various alternatives, or you can say the choices. Now let us take another example. Suppose the objective of the company is growth. So a company can do growth by various ways, like by diversification, by expansion, through a joint venture, by starting a new project. So that means in order to achieve the objective of growth, a company has 4 options. So in this step, he will list down those 4 options. This is identifying alternative course of action. Now once the alternatives are listed down, it will further move to evaluate alternative courses of action. Evaluation, why the evaluation is done? Evaluation is required because now we have 4 options and we have to find out which one is the best. So in order to move to the further step, first we have to find out all the positive and the negative points of each and every option. So basically what is evaluating alternative courses? Positive and negative points of each alternatives are thoroughly examined. Then only we can finally move forward to our next step, that is selecting an alternative. Okay, just if the objective is to grow, so the company will find out all the positive and negative points, that diversification is good for the company right now, or joint venture is good, or expansion is good, or a new project can be made by a company. So for all the 4 options, all the negative and positive points of each and every alternative will be calculated or evaluated. Now once we have evaluated, that means we are clear with it that which one has the positive points and which one has a negative point. So the next step comes selecting an alternative. Basically now in this step, out of those 4 alternatives, we have to select an alternative. Now how the alternative is selected? Basically the best alternative alternative is selected, and we should select an alternative which has least negative results. Just for an example, the company analyzed that if we'll start a new project to grow, so it will not be possible for the company right now to gather all the resources. Okay. So, keeping in mind all the positive and negative points, the best alternative is selected which is most feasible, which is most profitable in future, and with least negative results. And list down basically all the alternatives. Then we have evaluated, that means we found the positive and negative points, and then finally we have selected an alternative. Okay, so finally our alternative is selected, that how we can achieve our objective. Once we have selected, the planning process does not end here. We have to implement the plan. Implementing the plan means putting the plan into action. That means now if suppose we decided that we'll be diversifying in order to achieve the objective of growth. So in order to diversify, we need to collect, we need to arrange all the resources required for the diversification. So basically we'll be implementing the plan. And once we have implemented, the next step is follow up. In this step, the plans are monitored. That means monitoring of the plans is very important in order to check whether whatever objective we set, finally are we following that objective or not. Basically, are we moving for that objective only or not? So that is why follow-up is very important. That means monitoring of the plans is very important in order to complete the planning process. So students, this was the explanation of the planning process, and these were basically the NCERT key lines. So you can learn these key lines and it will help you in the explanation. So that's all for today. Thank you, students.